Yes, good evening and welcome to the Hamster Decides. Great to have you with us for week 2 of our in-depth coverage.
Yes, and look, I know the media's copped a bit of flack this election for their constant focus on fluff and gaffes rather than policy analysis. But thank God for Karl Stefanovic, who this week brought some much-needed substance to the campaign.
I'm going to ask you whether or not you like the Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd. What about the opposition leader, Tony Abbott?
Tough interview, although I've got to say, the cat did still get more questions right than James Diaz.
But this will mostly be known as the week that the Rudd camp turned negative, rolling out a series of attack ads against Abbott. Not that Rudd thinks of them as negative.
This is not about negativity, it's about accountability.
That's right, it's not negative, it's accountable. You know, it's just like when I got my blood test results last week and the doctor said I was HIV accountable.
But look, while the ads might be negative, Kevin Rudd is projecting a much more positive vibe to the staff at his campaign headquarters. Look at this.
You know something, friends? We're going to prevail. This is a good message.
Just look at the inspirational effect he's had.
It is not just
Look
me
at that.
telling you.
I have seen happier people in Al-Qaeda hostage videos.
And as far as I can tell from that promo video, all Rudd actually does now is march around checking there are photos of him on every wall. Selfies all over the office.
It's crazy, yeah, but thank God, not the latest selfie. I think it's a sign of just how desperate Rudd has become, that his selfies now seem more attention-seeking than usual.
Yeah, that was just...
I mean, it's a bridge too far.
Too far, Rudd.
He's certainly gone negative.
Desperate.
Meanwhile, the Abbott camp did have a few slip-ups of their own this week, particularly, I thought, on 7:30, when Tony Abbott totally gave away his secret plan to increase the GST.
The truth is the GST is not going to change, full stop, end of story.
Bullshit.
Excuse me, Lee, look...
Subtle, but at least Abbott has finally dropped those 3-word slogans, because, you know, they were getting a bit too hard. Now he just has 1-word slogans, which he repeats 3 times.
What we want to do is build, 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 so that there are jobs, jobs, jobs.
Although, I've got to say, I'm not sure that technique is working so well with all their slogans.
Confusing.
Abbott also spent a lot of this week talking up his economic plan.
Every economist will say that if we want a stronger economy, we've got to address the 3 Ps.
Yes, the 3 Ps, whatever they are. That is a big shift for Abbott, because normally in the press conferences all we get are the 12 Rs.
Rudd, on the other hand, he got some policy traction this week when he announced that parents who don't get their children vaccinated will miss out on their family payments, which I think that's good policy. But I wasn't quite sure about the pro-vaccination poster they put out.
I think that's the most honest thing they've done all week.
The poll suggests that the public's love affair with Rudd may finally be over. He still swears he's a changed man, but can we be sure?
Psychopathic, unpopular megalomaniac, or psychopathic, slightly less unpopular megalomaniac. Who is the real Kevin Rudd? The new Rudd is a man so universally adored.
You're getting into the realm of evil here with Rudd, the realm of evil.
Even his political opponents can't find anything wrong with him at all.
A condescending, patronising, smug, supercilious, sanctimonious...
What about self-regarding?
Self-regarding new Prime Minister.
But despite a limitless array of adjectives, Liberal politicians struggle to remember his actual name.
Kevin 747.
Credit card, Kevin.
Kevin A380.
Cardboard, Kevin.
Kevin, the con man. Kevin, the campaigner.
Beatax, Kevin.
Lord Kevin of Griffith. Counterfeit Kevin.
Kokoda, Kevin.
Perry-chested Kevin Rudd. Wreck-it Rudd. Rudd the Wrecker.
Fiscally prudent, Kevin.
So witty are these nicknames, the Liberal spin machine is on call to enforce their usage.
Who knows how much more debt and deficit...
Now remember, get his name right.
...to match whatever deal campaigning Kevin comes up.
But the identity most associated with Rudd 2.0 is...
Kevin Kardashian.
Kevin Kardashian.
Kevin Kardashian. Kevin Kardashian.
So called because he's a celebrity often seen with a massive arse. If anything, this understates his popularity.
We saw those rock star scenes again with him campaigning.
Rudd has a rock star attitude.
Anybody alive?
All ready to rock and roll?
And a rock star mum who writes his name on his clothes in case they get lost. And like a rock star, Rudd signs autographs. Looks like he's finally found a use for Chris Bowen. But not everyone's impressed.
Billy Manilli or the Bay City Rollers will get cheered in a shopping centre anywhere in this country.
And amateur gonzo impersonator Graham Morris.
You give me 5 cameras and walk around a big shopping centre, I will get the same blinking reaction.
Really?
We have 5 cameras and Graham Morris appearing live right now. Anyone at all? What about you, madam? I will give you $1 million to come and see Graham Morris. Goodbye.
However, for Rudd, it's not about the fame. It's about spending time with those he loves.
I feel as if I'm here among friends.
But not too much time. Rudd refuses to be distracted from his life's passion, begging for loose change.
I want $5 from you.
Maybe he'd have more money if he didn't spend it all on these most unusual political ads.
We're having a ruddy big sale!
It's hard to believe Rudd called in Obama's campaign specialists to make these.
This weekend, Mr Abbott!
Yet so unquenchable is Rudd's thirst for insane deals on home cleaning appliances, he even made them the centrepiece of his PNG solution.
Apinum true alligator. Mi hamimas true long come back long Papua New Guinea. This bella country emi stop inside long lewa belong me. Now rugby league 2 stop inside long lewa belong me.
Welcome to Inside the Wheel. Now, this week it's all about negativity. And look, Labor has been calling out Tony Abbott's negativity for some time now.
The most negative opposition leader the nation has ever seen.
Kevin Rudd intends to call Tony Abbott Captain Negative.
Yeah, I think he might have been doing that under orders from Lieutenant Lane.
Well, Kevin Rudd, he feels so strongly about this that even his impersonators are weighing in.
Someone's been a little negative lately, Mr Abbott. Why don't you be a little more positive, Mr Abbott? Godfrey!
By the way, if you appreciate that guy's work, and we do, he's on tour this week, and you should see him. He does all the impressions.
I'll be back. Godfrey's. Yes, we can. Godfrey's. I'm the Queen, Godfrey!
I mean, he really is very good, isn't he?
Very good.
Uncanny resemblance.
Look, Labor all agree, though, that Abbott is relentlessly negative. The problem is it's so hard to find the words that describe that relentless negativity.
Oh, no, it isn't. Craig Emerson can. He's got a very elegant way of describing it.
Mr Abbott's relentless negativity is relentless.
Right of reply, Emma?
My relentless repetition of adjectives is relentless there on my TV. My relentless repetition of adjectives is relentless there on my TV. My relentlessly relentless use of the word relentless is relentless, shocking me right out of my brain. Relentlessly shocking me right out of my brain.
Well, Labor's story is that Abbott is negative, but it couldn't be further from the truth.
Well, I'm just going to talk about my positive plans.
See?
Sounds cheerful, doesn't it? Sounds very cheerful. And here are those positive plans.
The country is in crisis.
This is a political crisis.
In an economic crisis.
A budget emergency.
Beyond emergency.
The crisis on our borders has become a national emergency.
A disaster.
A monumental disaster.
This asbestos disaster is part of the ongoing fiasco.
Like a tsunami through the motor vehicle industry. A complete, unmitigated catastrophe.
You know, it's hey, come on, that's all right. You should not be miserable, not you. No, the real victim of all this is Tony Abbott's wife, Margie.
The frustration of being married to a man who is just so optimistic.
Right. Okay, there you go.
Tony, can't you see what your positivity is doing to your poor wife?
Look, I guess you're right, Hanso. That poor woman has to deal with positivity like this every day.
The single most catastrophic policy decision in foreign matters that any Australian government has made.
I mean, the worst foreign policy decision of any Australian government in history. I mean, what would that be? Is it the Vietnam War? The Iraq War?
No, it's...
the live cattle export ban.
Just think of all those cows that weren't killed. What a tragedy. And Yet, Labor have the temerity to accuse the coalition of having no positive plan. Well, you eat those words.
We have a plan. A party with a plan.
The plan.
We have a plan. The right plan.
Real positive plans for our nation's future.
We are ready.
We're the ones with a plan.
Real solutions plan.
Our plan.
Our positive plans. Our real solutions.
I have a cunning plan.
A real solutions plan.
Labor says we don't have any policies. I say, cop that.
It's very good reading.
Yes, I'm sure it is. I mean, they're sending a very clear message there, aren't they? Oh, except for this one peculiar slip-up that Abbott made.
I want to make it absolutely crystal clear. The coalition has no plans. No plans whatsoever.
Very mixed messages there, Andrew. I can't believe he said that.
What was he thinking? Anyway,
What a gaffe.
Regardless, there is no bigger fan of that Real Solutions booklet than Malcolm Turnbull.
What's your little booklet called, Malcolm?
Real solution.
Real Solutions.
Turnbull, come on, get on board, man. There's nothing positive about that, Turney. In fact, he is so negative about the Real Solutions. Abbott insists on concealing Turnbull's face whenever he holds up the book. Now, see, here is Turnbull on the cover of the book. And now look at this. No Turnbull. No Turnbull. No, where's Turnbull? I can't see Turnbull. He's not there. No, Abbott even demanded that the great big hand cover up Turnbull when he appeared on Q&A.
Now, the Liberals are pushing this positive plan, countering those accusations of negativity.
And Kevin Rudd, I mean, he is even more positive. He is positivity incarnate.
I believe all Australians are sick and tired of negative politics.
You see, and that's why Labor spent their campaign focusing on positive plans, like the GST scare campaign.
A secret plan to increase the GST.
A secret plan to jack up the GST.
It is a secret agenda.
Hanso, there is absolutely no evidence for this so-called secret plan.
Oh, Chaz, there is plenty of evidence, my friend. It's just secret. Oh, it's all there if you know where to look. They've been keeping raps on this stuff for decades. It's buried down there beneath some benighted sepulchre.
In fact, the only thing more secret than the coalition's plan to increase the GST is...
I bet you if Kevin Rudd is elected or re-elected, there will be an increase in the GST under Labor.
Labor's secret plan to increase the GST!
Not even I've heard of that plan.
I must say, Jules does a very good impersonation of Harold Holt, doesn't he?
Not as good as my impersonation. Godfrey!
Now, Rudd followed up his extremely positive scare campaign with a series of extremely positive ads.
Including my favourite.
I remember when you were really aggressive, negative, angry about everything.
Now, the thing is, I mean, hey, come on, hey, Chaz, come on, this is great. This is Labor's new way. And it's completely different to anything they've ever done before.
Mr Howard.
Mr Abbott.
Where is your $8 billion tax cut money really coming from?
What are you going to cut?
Will you cut pensions?
Schools?
Will you destroy Medicare?
Nurses?
Will you cut out home nursing?
And are you going to cut annoying actresses in kitchens? Because with the ALP, we have a job for life.
Still, regardless of who's been more negative out of Rudd or Abbott, there is one thing that everyone can agree upon, if Rudd's polling is to be believed.
I know for sure that the old politics of negativity just won't work.
The installation of the NBN has been a policy triumph for Labor.
If compared to Pinkbat's mining tax and grocery watch.
In 2011, the NBN promised that by June this year, they'd pass 1.2 million houses. A target they met with ease. By dropping the target to 200,000. But once the cable is laid, the NBN will give speeds of up to 1 gigabyte per second.
OK, and the price for that would be?
To 93% of houses.
How much would you expect to pay?
By sometime in the 2020s.
So how much is it going to cost?
Why don't you tell me how much it's going to cost?
It's $37.4 billion.
Jesus. But it's the Labor Party, so most of that will be borne by single mothers. But now the Coalition have launched their own NBN policy. Explain it to us, Malcolm.
With XDSL, you know, ADSL, ADSL Plus, VDSL, VDSL2 Plus, VDSL2 Plus with vectoring.
I wonder if the Minister for the NBN could simplify things.
People still being forced to get the large battery pack.
how can people... Look, I refer technical questions, you know.
How about I give it a go, Albo? Under the Labor's NBN, fibre optic cable will be delivered straight to the house. Under the Coalition's NBN, fibre optic cable will be delivered to a node in your street. No, I said node. And then linked to your house via the existing copper network. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the hell is a node? 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 Node with a boyfriend? Now, you might be thinking, I don't want a giant box near my house. Hey! I'm trying to watch porn here. But the further the node gets away from your house, the slower the speeds you'll get. Terminal's been attacked from the left and the right. Because to get access to the copper network, you're going to have to pay Telstra millions of dollars. Others say that the ageing copper network will require expensive upkeep that isn't calculated in the Coalition policy. But if you're the smartest guy in Australia, you know how long the copper network will last. Is it 10 years? Is it 15 years?
Yeah, this is the answer to your question is nobody knows.
Oh. I've got to talk to Malcolm about this. But why go all the way to his premises when I can install a node outside his office and use existing technology for the last few metres?
Hello, Malcolm. I'm just in a node outside your office. Do you want to come out and have a chat to me?
Very good, no thanks.
I know you're in there. Come on out. Oh, here it is. Malcolm, step into my node. Old-fashioned technology, hey?
Well, that's you are not being as funny.
Hey, you're not thinking pretty quickly. It's because you're slowing down. You need some fibre optic cable there, Malcolm.
What have you got in here, anyway?
What kind of speeds can I get in this node?
The speeds which are available over the last few hundred metres of copper have just gone up rapidly.
See, the best thing about a node is you can close the door.
Is this locked? We're going to put you back in the box.
How come this costs $29.5 billion? It's shit house. What's happening in this node? Hey, Malcolm, nodes suck.
So why install a slower broadband? Because it's cheaper. But how much cheaper?
It'll cost $29.5 billion in 5 easy payments.
See, it's a policy that's 3/4 of the cost, but only 1/10 of the speed.
Malcolm, can you arbitrarily add $50 million to Labor's numbers?
We estimate it will cost $94 billion.
Much better. Now it's only 1/3 of the cost, but 1/10 of the speed. It comes down to how fast do we really need the internet to be anyway? Why get more speed if you've already got enough bandwidth for your internet fridge? Hurry! Get out of here. It might be fine now, but the problem is predicting what will happen in the future can be hard.
A dress of aluminium and an electric headlight to help her to find an honest man. As for him, if he matters at all, he'll be fitted with a telephone and containers for coins, keys, and candy for cuties.
Prescient. Candy? The Liberals are taking a punt that the speed you'll need for the foreseeable future will be 20 times our current average. 20 times faster! You're never going to need more than that! 20 times faster! You're never going to need more than that! So when you do your democratic duty, the choice is simple. You can slowly get a quick system that'll be expensive, or you can quickly get a slow system that'll be cheap now and expensive later. Is that clear?
Look, I refer technical questions, you know.
You're the best journalist in Australia. You're a very good journalist. You're the best journalist in Australia. The best journalist in Australia. You're one of my greatest heroes when it comes to the journalism in this world, and I'd only ever aspire to be half as good as you are. You're the greatest journalist in Australia. Can't say that God bless you.
March 1983 in the National Tally Room saw the most historic federal election since 1980. The ABC broadcast was controversial. Anchor Richard Moorcroft was forced to apologise after stealing Richie Benaud's jacket.
I must apologise. One of the worst things I have ever seen.
With the resurgent Labor Party riding high after a last-minute spill installed a populist egomaniac. No, not that one. The Tally Room bristled with excitement.
No seats for the ALP, no seats for the LNP, and no seats for anybody else.
An electric atmosphere that continued all night. Technology in 1983 was less sophisticated. Candidate images had to be sourced from police mugshots. As always, the ABC led the way with cutting-edge new technology, like women.
Now, in place of a slide rule on my lap, I have Jenny McGrath on a seat beside me.
And state-of-the-art graphics.
Okay, we'll just go to the chamber now, and that is definitely a new high score for Labor.
At night's end, the Prime Minister-elect came to the National Tally Room, causing pandemonium.
Mr Hawke is now standing up on a scaffold.
And a security scare after an undergraduate prankster crashed the event dressed as the Ayatollah of Iran. Thankfully, he was apprehended and Mr Hawke remained in the tally room for an interview which set the tone for his Prime Ministership.
Mr Hawke, your first day in office, will it be a humbling experience?
Oh, it's more a sobering experience, I think.
Do you think that as PM it'll be easier for you to cheat on your wife?
That's the sense that I have.
Perhaps with your biographer?
We already have arrangements in train.
Please welcome our guest for Question Time this week, Labor Senator Doug Cameron.
He may not have the looks of Sean Connery, nor the razor wit of Billy Connolly, but he's the Scot that we've got, it's Doug Cameron MP, scotting me right out of my brain. He's scotting me right out of my brain.
Senator Doug Cameron, your Question Time starts now. On Radio National recently, you said this.
My language is the language of that working families understand.
Is that statement A, true, B, false, or C, indecipherable?
Unintelligible.
I didn't quite get that, but I don't want to seem racist, so I'll say yes. OK. Of the major players in the Australian car industry, which one's propped up more by the government? Bob Carr or Kim Carr?
I think it's even Steven.
Doug Cameron, I'd like you to listen to some audio. It's of you and a woman who is not your wife.
Not bad? Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Is the female voice there A, the Governor-General, B, Wendy Deng, or C, I'd prefer not to answer?
Definitely C.
Correct. What should a Scotsman never be caught with under his kilt?
Underpants.
I'll give you that. I also would have accepted Barnaby Joyce, Christopher Pine or Sophie Mirabella. Now, Doug, the Labor campaign's gone very negative this week. This is your chance to turn it round for the party. This is the positivity test. I'm going to show you an image, and your job is to instantly say something positive about it. Let's go.
Typical.
Next one.
Oh, shit.
We actually, we tested that question on the caucus and correct, that is the answer. What is being talked about here?
With the lowest of the low! The scum of the fucking earth! The most wretched, miserable, servile, pathetic trash that was ever shot into civilisation!
Is it A, the Scottish people, or B, the New South Wales Labor Party?
I thought it was News Limited, but...
I'll give you that one. All right, last question. How would this clip sound if it was spoken with a convincing Scottish accent?
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
They may take our lives, but they will never take our freedom.
Correct! Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Doug Cameron!
That was in behalf of every politician in the country.
Policy! This is what we most look forward to at election time.
It's a time when politics fans can read about the latest official fiscal report in the fine print of couriermail.com, while the rest of us read their major political story, what Everton Rudd would look like with beards.
Or a time when we can reflect on the only poll that counts. hashtag hot poll, our best-looking polls.
Oh my God, Julie Bishop's so hot.
But some commentators object to the trivialisation of politics.
A lot of it's complete nonsense, and what we need to do is sort of get past that and into the real policy phase.
And they are ignored.
The PM was out and about yesterday lunching with former Labor PM Paul Keating. We've got to zero in on Mr Keating's red shoes.
I'm going to vote for Keating in the hashtag hot poll.
Substantial stories like this one and this one don't get much coverage because they lack drama. Specifically, sandwich drama.
Good afternoon. The Prime Minister has been the target of a student sandwich thrower. Targeted by a flying snack.
3 weeks ago, it was Vegemite. Today's missile contains salami.
Not to be confused with this sandwich drama.
No, Patrick, don't die. What about our baby?
Politicians have responded to this new sandwichy landscape with creative ways of communicating.
Politicians so cash-strapped they need dress-ups to get their message across.
Snow White, but she's had her hair, sort of changed colour.
Bob Catter has to dress up like a normal person. He must be desperate.
I wonder what he looks like with a beard.
Ooh, interesting. But politicians don't need silly stunts if the topic is important enough, like healthcare.
No questions at all about clinical trials or the investment in patient care that we're doing here today, research and jobs of the future? Nope. OK, polls then.
Sorry, like poll.
Polls are the most important policy because how best to interpret competing fiscal plans than seeing who's 0.5% more popular than last week.
Polls are easy to understand for most people.
Labor and the Coalition are 50-50 two-party preferred. That would still make Tony Abbott Prime Minister with a governing majority, wouldn't it?
No. Polls are handy. They can be conducted anywhere, anytime. Like when you're late for work.
What do you think is the most important issue in this election?
But if you're a little earlier for work, you can catch public transport instead of a cab.
So what do you think is the biggest issue in this election campaign?
And if you really want to, you can conduct polls on any form of public transport you like.
So what do you think of Kevin Rudd? The polls can be revealing. This one revealed that in Western Sydney, Rudd and Gillard are even less popular than the shadow with a question mark.
No wonder this guy topped the hashtag hot poll. He was hot stuff.
Do you really think you can win this election?
Fuck a sandwich! Are you white, brown or rye?
It's hard to focus on policy over polls because most of us are pretty simple.
Audiences are so simple that Channel 9 doesn't think we can handle Laurie Oakes having two names.
Laurie, good.
Meanwhile, Seven's Daily Edition are so simple they struggle to even understand what Parliament looks like.
And there she is in Parliament right now as we speak, just looking as cool as a cucumber.
Gee, Parliament's glammed up.
Oh, look, it's the Speaker of the House.
Speaker, pretty.
But despite apparently never having seen Parliament before, Seven's Daily Edition bravely analysed Australia's foreign policy commitments.
When I hear about Bob Carr, 721,000, I think, OK, I know he needs to meet these official dignitaries and go and meet people, but once you've met them once, right, which surely in his period he has, Skype. I mean, we're in the electronic age.
Exactly. And it's a very good look for Australia at APEC.
Not to mention our future Foreign Minister.
Oh, hang on, Mr President. Don't declare war yet. I'm just going to find some more chips.
It's not just foreign affairs, though. This whole election's been a policy fest!
The telly hates Labor. Rudd has a fringe, the Libs have a dud. Anthony Albanese and Craig Thompson have a beer. Telly still hates Labor. Some kid pulls a face. We meet the One Nation moron. The GST scare campaign. One Nation moron goes. Wheelchair-abusing moron arrives. Abbott has fake Twitter followers. Abbott said the word suppository. Rudd looked at his notes. Abbott said sex appeal. Marcus Rudd has a Facebook page. Latham said no sex appeal. Katy Perry won't vote for Abbott. Lib stands in front of poster. Hanson Young pissed off with talkback guy. Rudd said the word for. Rudd almost, but not quite, checks out a model. Rudd's eaten too many pies, and Abbott's going to win. The end.
So now all your questions about policy have been answered. Except for the most probing question any journalist can ask. The question that makes every politician tremble with fear. The question that goes to the very heart of the democratic process.
And the devastating follow-up. Your adversarial press